Are you gearing up for a traditional archery hunt? Well, guess what? Today, we've got Johnathan Karch from Three Rivers Archery back on the program to share his best tips ever for hunting with traditional archery equipment. Let's get started. Hey, Joe McClain here from CatholicHack.com, where I live my life for God, and I am passionate about traditional archery. And ever since I got that archery bug back in 2011 or so, I've been flinging arrows in my backyard ever since. And I am super excited to have Johnathan on the program again today. The last time he was on the program, he was getting ready to go on an elk hunt, so we'll talk about that. But on this channel, if you're new here, I'd love to have you be a part of our community. You can do that by subscribing to the channel and maybe even hitting that bell notification icon. I put out a video every single week on traditional archery, shooting, archery trick shots, reviews, conversation, hunting, just all kinds of stuff. And again, we have a great community of shooters who have tons of experience. They're always commenting below, and I'd be super pumped if you'd be a part of it. So again, click that notification icon and the subscribe button and join us. It's been, I don't know, many weeks now since we've had Johnathan on the program. He is with Three Rivers Archery, and look at that, an incredible company who supports traditional archers. They don't sell compound bows, okay? They sell traditional archery gear, equipment, bow making, primitive stuff. They support traditional archery, and that's why I support them, because they're just really, really incredible people. So, but he's been shooting for many years, and he's been hunting for many years. And last time we had him on, it was to talk about his upcoming elk hunt, and we're going to get into that here in a minute. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was a big buck down in Kansas that he'll tell us all about. So that's what we're going to dive into. Johnathan, again, thanks for being on with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. Last time we talked, I remember I was just getting ready. I was a couple of weeks from heading to Colorado to go elk hunting. And I had an absolute beautiful spot. This was my first time elk hunting, but all the stories, all the guys I've talked to, I don't think I could have had better opportunity than I did. I had a whole valley just to myself. It was private land right next to some private. Private land next to some public. So I had just absolute amazing time. Gorgeous weather. Good guide. I went with Fred Eichler and his guys, and just wonderful. I was into elk every day. Never got close until, of course, to the end.
Isn't that always the case? It's like up to the end.
Yeah. It's like when they say it was in the last place you look. Well, yeah.
Why didn't we start there?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we had 4 days of great hunting. I was out there. There was a guy that was also hunting for mule deer, and he tagged out on our first time out with him.
Sweet.
But gorgeous. All the preparation work. I'll definitely say that for elk hunting is, I don't care how many steps you climb or what prep you do. It's different when you're there.
I can imagine. Now,
it's myself in decent shape. I was not.
Was this your first Western hunt?
No. This is my first elk hunt. I've been out to Colorado, and I got a mule deer back in 2010.
Nice.
But that was more like hunting around here. It was in tree stands and that. This is the first, I'd say, the first real time where it was Western style of hunting, I guess I should say, of where spot and stock, call and chase. We didn't do any glassing because they were screaming all over the place, so we just kept hoofing it and trying to get in good ambush spots.
Was that exciting to hear all that screaming going on?
Oh yeah. That was really neat. And then to watch them sometimes, because sometimes it would just be over the next ridge, and you'd hear, or they'd at one point they'd be 50 yards away, but you couldn't see them, but you just hear them screaming, and it's like, all right, come this way, come this way. And I had a great guide. He did really good work with that, but we weren't able to get any bulls to come in close. The closest we had a bull coming to us was probably about 20 yards.
Wow.
But what the most exciting thing on it was, is we were walking, we heard some cows, so my guide just kind of calls to him, and the next time we hear him, she's closer. I mean, like, just closer. So my guide drops back. I go flying forward so I can get some space between us, because kind of like with turkey hunting, they come into calls and they hang up and look for you. So I'm like, closer you are further away from the call, the better chance to be closer. My dad, I got to hunt with him. He wasn't elk hunting. He was just along to film for me. And he did get a turkey tag, but no shooting. But anyways, he drops back a little bit with the camera. I'm out. I'm kind of in the open. I'm not hiding in brush or any of that. and this cow just comes in. I mean, she knew where our last call was, and she comes just screaming and whatnot. And on 4 legs, they can move pretty quick. And she was coming, and where I wanted to shoot, the perfect broadside shot was right where I was, and I didn't see where my dad went down. So I was no. I can't shoot there because he's going to be right behind her. So I shot a little bit more. It wasn't a quartering toward shot at all. I mean, it was still a great shot, but wasn't that, picture perfect, light shining down one. And I shot right over her back. She probably was 15 yards away. She turns and busts out, goes out of there. My guide calls again, and she hangs up because, she heard the arrow crashing by, but she didn't know what it was. So she's about 20, 21 yards out from where I was, and she's looking around. I've already at full draw, broadside shot, but she's kind of got me picked out looking at me. And I'm like, I'm at full draw. Anchor. I'm like,
now, is this where you wish you had the compound bow?
You joke the whole time. It's like, I had a gun, I'd be done right now.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like, why are we doing this one more time?
That's the fun. If you're done the first day, you don't enjoy it. I won't say you won't enjoy it, but you don't get that building excitement of, every time you get another one, of like, okay, this, is this it? We got a timetable, but yeah, no, there's a few times you're like, had a compound or rifle, to be done right now.
Yeah, I know. But your heart must have been pumping, though. Your heart must have been just on fire.
Well, that was the thing with the first shot. It was 15 yards on an elk-size or an elk-sized animal. An elk is a pretty. You can't really ask for better than that. But she came in so quick, and they can move so good. She wasn't running; she was just coming in, and just too excited. Didn't have a time to calm down to be like, okay, take that shot. Because the second shot, I was there. I was just right beat on. She was stopped. I was full draw, like I said, and I shot, and that arrow went right where it needed to be. But she wasn't there.
Oh, they move fast like ninjas. They're just gone.
Yep. Yeah. Well, just like whitetail. She just right underneath it, right past her. I actually we waited an hour because I go, if she got under it, it had to be close. Because I was hunting with wood arrows, so I didn't have any lighted knocks or any of that to to really spot where it was. So we waited an hour, and I walked over to see the spot and see any blood there. So I went over the ridge that was behind her, and here was a tree about the size of your fist that had my arrow. And I kid you not, the sun was shining down on it. I was like, yeah. I took a picture of it. It's one of those,
if that's all you're bringing back from an elk hunt, that's not good.
So we took off and we went again. But I got 2 shots at a cow, and it's really hard to ask more than that.
Pretty exciting stuff. But all right, so that wasn't the end of your season, though. You made it out to Kansas, and how'd that go?
Yeah, elk was the start of my season. Then I went out. I did some hunting in Indiana, but I didn't get anything to come in there. But I went out to Kansas. With a good buddy, Sid McCullen, who runs Old School Outdoors TV show. And he just said, hey, come on out, we'll have a good time. And so I'm like, well, Kansas whitetails, absolutely. So I go out there, drove all day to get there, slept, got up in the morning, hunted in the morning, didn't see anything but a few, little guys and a doe. And then that night he put me in a nice, sweet stand. And a little forker came in. And he was nervous. I had great coverage, though. I was in this perfect tree stand. It was great foliage behind me to break up my outline there. And then the tree in front of me came to about shoulder height when you were sitting. And it was full of leaves. So I had just that much sticking out. So don't move your head, and you were fully hidden. But he didn't like it. But right behind him was this great big, which I thought was a nice 8-pointer. And he just comes lumbering in. I think he just wasn't worried about anything else. He just, he wanted to come in and eat, and nobody was going to stop him. So he comes in and sitting there, and I'm watching him. And I was Sid, when he dropped me on the truck, he goes, old saying that a lot of your viewers probably have heard before is, don't pass on the first day what you'd shoot on the last day.
That's right.
And I'm looking at
all
this
of a sudden on the last day, you're like, no, that's great. We'll shoot that one. Yep. But day one, you're like, oh, that ain't big enough. Let him go.
Right. Well, like in Iowa, it's the first time I've shot a big buck, which is this guy here. Indiana, I'm not greedy. First year it goes by, I shoot. I like the taste of steaks. So I'm not greased. I don't have a lot of big bucks. Actually, this rack right here, those are all the whitetail deer or bucks I've killed, the bigger ones that you could tell up until 2014. Because not that there's not big bucks where I hunt, but
yeah, same thing here in Texas. At least my part of Texas, east side, they're not very big deer at all. They don't have the kind of food sources they've got in Kansas.
right. Oh yeah, and they definitely. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful land there. But yeah. Anyway, so he comes in, he's sitting there, and I go, "That's a nice deer," and he's angling away from me, quartering away, and just this perfect shot. I go, "Okay, there's of everything I can see here. If I hit, I'm getting long or I'm getting hard." And I got my longbow, my wood arrows, so I just draw and I shoot, and I hit him high and back, but I buried all the way to the fletch. And turns out I saw him run where he went. It was a 2-track, and from where I last saw him, he died within 10 yards of there.
Wow.
And when we gutted him, not the heart, but the artery or the vein going in had a 3-blade slot in it. So I would just hit right above the heart, but I put a hole right there. I mean, he was dead where he stood.
Wow.
But yeah, and he weighed out at 282 pounds on the
That's
scale.
a
And that was before he got. But yeah,
huge deer.
he is the biggest deer that I've shot to date, and he's actually. I was fortunately able to get him back already. That guy right there.
Look at that. That looks incredible.
Yeah. Let's see how we can do this without eyeballing it.
Now, so he's got double brow tines.
Yep. Yeah.
Splits.
That was the best thing. Not only did he weigh out bigger than I thought he was. His points. Yeah, he's got 3 points on the double brow tine. There's 2, but the main one it splits off. So there's actually 3 points right there.
That's amazing.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the one side, 8, 9, 10, 11 overall. He's got that real short left side, but the right side really swings out. And it hits the ground. Normally you have ground shrinkage, but mine went the other way.
That's what happened to me. I saw that deer and I said, "That's a big boy," and I shot. And then when I went and found him, eventually we found him, and I'm like, "That's not my deer. I don't know who shot this one, but my deer is laying around here somewhere."
Yep. So yeah, he's my biggest. I haven't had any of them scored. That's just not something that I look for on that. But the weight always gets me. I'm like 282 pounds. So I'm still eating pretty good on steaks right now.
That's a good mount too that you've got. I like the way that's mounted like sideways a little bit there. That's quite nice.
Yeah. Thank you. I wanted to show the one side a little bit more to it. So I might get some of the rocks to fill in the spot here because it's kind of a pedestal mount. But yeah. So.
Well, quite nice. It was pretty exciting. And I guess you also made it down here to Texas for some hogs as well.
I did. Larry D. Jones, who shoots for Bowhunter Magazine TV, they invited me down because we've been sponsors with them for years, and I've always said I love hunting hogs. That's if I had to pick one animal, it would be hogs.
Now, why is that? Why do you say hogs?
Well, because you can really employ so much to hunt them. I love spot and stalk. Being from the Midwest, we don't get to do it a lot. It's mostly tree stands or blinds. So I love the spot and stalk aspect of it. I love that it's really playing the wind. You've got, I don't want to say an advantage, but at least you have a weakness on the eyes, so you can do that as long as you're playing the wind. Know where you are. And then also, I don't want to say the danger aspect to it, but you have to give them respect. Because
especially if you're on the ground.
They can get you. And actually, my first hog I ever killed was back in the 90s. I was a teenager, and I went to draw her. She was running by. She saw me out of the eye. She turned, charged me, and flipped me head over heels.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, it's my first mount I ever got because my dad said, "We'll mount one animal for you in your life." And I said, "There's not going to be too many things that come that close to killing me back." So, my view in my office.
Oh, how cool!
Right there.
That's the hog.
That's the hog. It's not it's no massive hog. Makes no record books or anything, but that's the only thing that's come that close to getting me back. So I really enjoy that. Just that getting close. I've hunted a lot of javelina through the years too, and I really enjoy them too because I've been a desk length away from javelina before too, which is exciting. But the hogs are so tasty, so tasty.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. All right, so incredible season. Congratulations on that. But you've had a tremendous amount of experience hunting and hunting with some pretty big names too. I mean, Fred Eichler is a great name there. You mentioned several people. So give us some of your best tips for trad archery shooters. You know, Jonathan, a lot of guys will watch my channel who are moving from compound shooting to trad archery shooting, and they're, you know, Aaron Schneider calls it the struggle stick, you know, and there's a good reason for that. When you've gone from having that confidence to shoot your compound bow, and you can put tight arrow groups at long distances, and you're not having to hold that weight, it just gives you that advantage. That's why it exists. But when you want the challenge and you've moved to the traditional archery, it's a lot harder. It really kind of hurts the confidence of a lot of shooters in that category. So what kind of tips would you offer traditional archery guys out there who are getting ready to go hunting, whether for turkeys, hogs, or the deer season later in the fall?
Sure. You know, first one to start on the practice session of it is you know, and you know, you hear this for anything, but you know, practice. It has to be instinctive. It has to be, you know, regardless of how you shoot, it needs to be, you know, muscle memory built in of where I'm already hitting the anchor point. I'm not thinking about doing all this and balancing it all out, because in a hunting situation, it happens just like that.
Like the elk you were talking about.
Like the elk, and that's why it failed, because I was too panicked and just I know what it was. I brought the bow arm up to look where it was going, and right over that. But anyways, yeah, definitely, you know, have that built in there. And that can be tough. And that's where a lot of people I know, like, they enjoy shooting traditional bow, but they'll hunt with a compound, because when they get to that, but it's a scary step, but it's not a huge step to get from, okay, just build that confidence, get that there. Because like most things, it's having the confidence in your shooting and the confidence in your gear. And that just comes with practice. The only way you're going to get good at something is doing it again and again and again. But with that, and speaking of gear, is especially for hunting, I switch over to broadheads about a month before season. And I shoot, and I try to shoot even more than with broadheads to make sure that they're set. And a lot of time I'll only shoot one arrow at a time, or at most 3 arrows with broadheads. One, because if you get good at shooting, you can you can ding them up.
Right. And who wants to buy another arrow, or in your case, make another arrow when you don't have to?
Yeah, but then also because it gives you the break between shots, and then also in a hunting situation. I mean, my dad has always said, is, you know, if I got 2 shots and they didn't move, I'd kill everything. So you're not going to get that quite a bit. So only, you know, practicing one at a time to make sure, okay, this is the one that counts, and take the shot. And then also, you know, going to 3D shoots, I've actually found that to be amazing. I am a absolute top shot on my target upstairs at our range here. Because I try to shoot as much as I can, but, you know, you need to get out there and get that unknown distance. Even if I don't pace it off to know exactly everything is, it's just having that, you know, do a local 3D shoot where it's just the local club sets up targets, different ranges and whatnot, and shoot. You know, go there and try. Granted, most of the places can't shoot with broadheads, but, you know, go and try, because that's a hunting setup of, okay, here's something I've never shot before. It's a hunting angle, and usually on 3D targets, so, you know, you have as true to hunting as you can get. And you don't have the expense of, you know, owning 30 of your own 3D targets.
Right, sure.
And
then there's that actual real fear of overshooting or undershooting and losing an arrow, and so that adds a little pressure that, you know, it's not a perfect simulation, but that pressure can help you in your training, because you've got to calm yourself down. You've got to get control of your shot cycle and put that arrow where you need it to go, so that animal will die quickly, and that's the goal. And in real hunting situations, that's hard. The elk is a great example of that, but you got to train somehow. And I think that's probably the biggest key, right? Is just putting yourself in hunting situations.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Is, you know, trying to keep it to real as you can. You know, a lot of people actually learned it from my hog hunt. Was I don't hunt from blinds around here. I don't practice much from it, and I had some trouble getting used to that. Actually, the 3 hogs I killed, the one that I absolutely just pinned it perfect was the one that I got out and stocked up on it. And that one I just pinned it. You know, one of those, you know, pinned the ace on the target. Did great. Where the others, I you know, good shots, and they died quickly, but wasn't as happy with it because I was hunting from a blind, wasn't set for it. So, you know, if you're going to be tree stand hunting, do it from the seated position, just because you never know.
Yeah.
I've definitely tightened up my stance a bit of how I stand, just because I go, okay, I get this much space in a tree stand. You can't have a wide stance if you want to be standing on a tree stand. You got to be
Right.
able to within
Yeah.
that. And just those things. This year, I've got it sitting over here, a shaggy coat, which is kind of a 3D ghillie suit. And I really want to try that this year. So I'm going to get that ready in the next couple of days, hopefully, so I can get on the range wearing that and try it out and try to get used to it. So that way, when hunting season comes, I'm not going, oh, I really needed to cut that bit, or know that I couldn't do this. So knowing your limitations there with it is, if it's from a blind, I know I have to be able to shoot from a chair, or it's not going to happen. And practicing that way.
I mean, and think about blinds too. You're shooting a long bow. I don't know how long is your bow? What's the size of your bow?
My longbow is 62, and I got a recurve that's 64. But yeah, no, there's
62 inches is a short longbow.
It is.
And still, that's going to be tough in a lot of ground blinds.
Yeah, I've found myself, and I've talked to others where you start digging little holes in the ground just so you can get your down.
Yeah, that's right.
And the nice thing, there's a few blinds out there that do cater to the traditional shooter. Maristep makes one. They change the name every other year, so it's hard to know what it's called now. But it used to be called the Sanctuary before at the Penthouse. We sell the Ghost blind, which is the mirror blind, because then you have no headroom. The old double bow, they had a recurve model back in the day. But yeah, that's definitely something that you really have to be cautious. That's where I learned that I either need to shoot more out of blinds, because I wasn't having the confidence every time I was drawing on those hogs. I kept looking up just to see if my tip, where it was, because nothing will ruin a shot worse than burying a tip into your blind or into the ground.
Yeah.
So being comfortable with that, knowing that I got this, because from a tree stand, when you set them up and you get up there, you do your practice every time, and especially every time you get up in the stand, I always do. I do a few test draws, one to get the blood flowing, and two to go, okay, they come there, they come over there, they come there, because of course you have the one cut path where they should be. And I don't know about you, but there's very little deer that I've shot where they were supposed to be.
You telling me they don't just come in on a string and stand perfectly broadside? They don't walk up and say, "It's my turn, shoot me." No, it doesn't happen, does it?
No.
Well, real quick before we let you go, tell us what kind of products would you recommend, or that you might have coming out at Three Rivers Archery this year that some shooters may be interested in. I know you really love that Woodsman Broadhead. I've been shooting it now, I guess, for several months. That's an incredible broadhead. It tears stuff up.
The thing with the Woodsman is, before we owned it, because we manufactured was made by the Wenzel brothers, and everybody here was shooting it. And when the opportunity said, "Hey, we want to sell this," back out of the business side of that, we're like, "Well, absolutely," because it's all of us are shooting it. We love it. And we love it, the long lean design, so you get really good penetration out of a 3-blade. I'd have to say it's probably the best penetration you'll get out of a cut-on contact 3-blade, just because it's not overly narrow, but the longer design. So you're getting double-side penetration, and then also being 3 blades, you get a heck of a blood trail, which is, we all want what everybody should have when they're shooting. And the best news about the Woodsman is that we are handling all the manufacturer locally. Between every bit of it. We actually do a lot of the grinding in-house now. We have machines set up. We have guys that's what they focus on. So we really have the quality control down to just a perfect T. And I really like it, because instead of having to pick up a phone and call across the country to some shop, now if I have an issue or if I have a question, I can still call, but I can also swing over there on the way in to work and be like, "Hey, let's work this issue out or see what this is." So the quality is just perfect. The grind on them, they're really good, and they're an easy to sharpen broadhead now. I've almost always have been, but with the bevel on them that we're able to do in house, you put it right to a flat file, finish it on a hone. I do mine on a strip of leather, strap them on that, and you can shave hair.
Wow.
So yeah, that's probably the biggest exciting news for us. We pick up a lot of products, but that's the one that's got me incredibly excited this year, because we have that process down to a T, and we're able to get them, we're able to make them the way that a broadhead should be. I'm very happy and proud of us for that, because it's taken a lot of work. Anybody that's shot Woodsmans for a while now has seen how it's progressed through the years, but we're really happy with what we're able to do.
Now, would you recommend the Woodsman for turkeys, or would you go with something else?
I love them on everything. I've got I mean, there's people shooting with turkeys. I know there's a lot of people that work to limit penetration on turkeys, keep the bird, or keep the arrow in the bird. And there's that, I think if you can put 3 blade through or through a heart, you're going to do great.
Yeah, it's not going to leave much room for the turkey getting away. That's for sure.
Right, right. And I've got a moose on the back wall that my dad shot. That was with a 3 blade woodsman too. So I mean, shameless plug and bias here, but I shoot him at absolutely everything. I mean, the elk, I took him hunting. I took him, put him through the hogs. Whitetail, you're going to get amazing penetration there. I passed all the way through. I take that back. I did not get out the front. I got all the way to the heart from the back hip with the woodsman. Not a 282-pound deer. I'm used to getting pass-throughs on broadside shots. Can't think of too many times that I haven't. But that's, I definitely recommend them for turkeys. And if you want to keep them in the bird, there's, things out there, arrow grabbers, Zwicky Scorpios, things like that grab onto game and slow down an arrow's penetration. And then you'll still have 3 blades inside the game or inside the turkey, cutting them up. So
incredible. Johnathan Karch, Three Rivers Archery, thanks for hanging out with us today, sharing your hunting stories and your tips for trad archery shooters and their hunting endeavors this year, and we're very grateful. Thank you for being on with us.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Always love it.
All right, viewers, do you have any tips for hunting with traditional archery gear that you can share with the rest of us? Be sure to leave that in the comment box below, or maybe even what broadhead are you shooting? I'd love to know. Again, leave that in the comment box below. If you're new here, you're going to find that we've got an incredible community of traditional archery shooters who get into the comment box and they leave some great feedback. I have learned a tremendous amount. I'm super pumped about the quality of our community. I would love for you to be a part of it. Consider subscribing to the channel and even hitting the bell notification icon so that you get alerted to the very next video that comes out. Give this video a thumbs up, and if you can, sharing is always caring, so hit that share button and spread some love, right? Hey, I'm praying for you that you shoot straight. I hope you pray for me that I shoot straight. And until the next video, may God richly bless you. This was supposed to be live, but that didn't quite work out. Hey, so next week I'm going to be traveling. I'll be in Las Vegas for the National Association of Broadcasters Convention. And then I'll go to Sacramento, California later next week, and I'll be giving a series of talks at the Sacramento, California Men's Conference at St. Mel's Parish. Super looking forward to that. I've actually already recorded next week's video. It's all about helping compound shooters transition to traditional archery. So be looking forward to that. Again, thanks for hanging out with me. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.